Hey, welcome back to the Signature Movement. It's your girl Tanya D. Floyd. I'm here basking in my vitamin D rays. I was awake at 4 o'clock this morning. Um, Look, I had read something a while back that said, if you eat too much sugar before bed or past a certain time in the evening, it doesn't have to be sugar. It could be like bread or pasta or anything that converts to sugar in the body, or a sweet drink will do it too. But if you do that before bed, then you're likely to be awakened during the night because you have pee. Well, I forgot that advice. It said to make sure you eat something a little more substantial and fatty, not necessarily fatty, disgusting. Just it could be something with some olive oil. It could be just more protein based, something that was cooked in a nice kind of fat or whatever, but something that's not necessarily going to break down into sugar before bed or past a certain time in the evening. So that one will help you sleep better and sleep all the way through versus the one that wakes you up and make you gotta go pee, right? Okay, well, I had to get up and go pee, and I always hate when that happens because I'm likely not gonna make it back to sleep, and that's what happened. But anyway, I ain't come to talk about that. I came to talk about something that I realized at 4 o'clock in the morning when I was awake trying to go back to sleep. I remembered some things. So I was thinking about a particular individual who was in my life some time ago, and some of the advice she had given me, and something I was going through at the time. And the main topic that came to me that I need to talk about today is nobody cares. There's one thing about adulting that I have learned, and one of the toughest lessons in life I have learned is nobody cares. And what do I mean by that? Okay, I don't mean you will not find people in your life who care about you, who won't care about your struggle. But at certain points in time, you will be going through something so intensely personal, so intensely emotional, so deeply tied to your well being that you cannot function properly in life because of this thing. But people on the outside will not be able to feel it because it's yours. They don't know. They don't get it. They're not going to see it the same way you do because you live in that life. And you trying to get up out of that hole. And you trying to get up out of bed. And you trying to make moves or rise above or tread water or whatever you trying to do. They not going to get it like you get it. And there are other people even far removed than the people who are not in it with you but kind of close to you and care about you a little bit. There's people on the outside who ain't even that close to you who going to be like, oh wow, and they gonna keep it moving, and you gonna feel like I just told you something really really serious going on with me, and all you got for me is a oh wow. That happened to me recently, by the way, and I ain't think about it then, but I'm thinking about it now because 4 o'clock, why not? It's a good time to think about stuff, right? So anyway, oh by the way, I got my new phone. It's not a new phone like an upgrade or anything. It's a replacement for the warranty because the phone I had, I don't know if y'all noticed, but the microphone on that phone wasn't working that well. It was sounding all muffled and stuff. And I answered the phone and tried to talk to people, and they didn't know I answered the phone, and they were like, hello, hello, hello. And then I got to put it on speaker, and I can't have all my calls on speaker, so I had to get the replacement. But I got the replacement, and I hope you can hear me. But anyway, yeah, I was thinking about how the things be going on and life be life, and then people just be like, oh man, oh wow, oh my goodness. And then the next statement, the next thought, the next move is going on, and you just standing there like, but I'm still in this hole. Don't nobody care. And it's not like they could do anything if they did give you a little more than the oh wow. Sometimes they be like, oh god, I gotta pray for you, oh god, I gotta send you some money, oh god, I gotta something. But even still, have you ever been in the fire to that degree? Do you know what I'm talking about? Maybe not, but it's a thing. And I was thinking about, at the time, the lady who I was thinking about, and the advice she gave me and stuff. And it was one of the times when I had to go to court for something. And I was she worked at a law firm, and I was trying to get together my documents to respond to some thing that was filed against me. And she said, this is not the time to tell your story. This is just an answer to the motion that they filed. You have to file your response, and it's a procedural thing. And then I was like, wow, well, when do I get to tell the judge my story? Well, I never did, because they don't care. The courts don't care. The courts don't care. They don't care about the meat of the stuff. They care about the procedure. That's it. Period. It's all procedural. They're not going to be sympathetic. Not in general. They just don't. That ain't what they do. They're a special breed. I gotta tell you. They're a special breed. But forget about that. But anyway, that was just one of the instances. And I've been to court many, many times. Unfortunately, I've been to court many, many times. I hate court. Don't want to ever go to court again. But yeah, that's one of the places where you realize they don't care. They don't nobody care. If the police stop you and say X, Y, and Z to you, I've never had that one happen. But if the police stop you and some things are going on and they're asking you questions, they don't want the story. They just want you to answer their questions. They in charge of the information that you. I didn't ask you that. I'm asking the questions here, man. What are you? And let's stick to this outline that I got going on here. They don't care. Then another instance I was thinking about, it could be like at school. I've been fighting with the school for a while. And even though they respond to my emails here and there, well, they always respond, but they always respond with a baton. They pass the baton to the next person. Well, Miss Floyd, don't you have a meeting with so and so on this date? Why don't you discuss it with them there? Well, I'm discussing it with you right now. You can't help me, or you just don't want to hear it. It's both. They don't care. They don't care. You could get into a car accident and the police show up to take the police report. They be like, if it wasn't no injuries, we didn't even need to be called. Y'all exchange information, and that's how that go. But if they show up, they irritated because they had to show up for just a fender bender and nobody's going to the hospital, and they just like, well, I'm gonna just fill out this report. And what happened? Who here? Who? What? Where were you? Where were you? They ask questions. They do their little diagram. They put your name and number one if you were at fault, and then they just keep it moving. They don't care about your story, what you was doing, or none of that. They don't care. Another instance of they don't care. Yeah, just people don't have time for your stuff, and you're gonna have a lot of stuff going on. Like, let's talk about gossip for a second. Something on Facebook yesterday made me think about how people can talk about you. And it said, if you're going to talk about me, invite me to the conversation. So you talking about some tea and I'm talking about a testimony. So if I'm there to give my side of the story, I can tell you what God did with the pieces after I was all broken up and everything. I like that. But yeah, when people talking about you and stuff, they don't really care about your side, why you did what you did. They just want to talk about what you did because they like talking about you. They don't want to talk about what you did because they don't like you anyway. And they was like, I knew she was X, Y, and Z. I knew this about her. And they just, go on with that. They take what they want, not your side of the story. They don't care about your side of the story. They never gonna hear it. Most people will never hear your story. And you know what? I used to write poems because of that. Back in the day. I think I wrote my first poem in 1997. Just, my therapeutic poems. I might have written something before that, but for school it was always for school. School or college, Oh, excuse me. But, yeah, it was in 1997, something happened at work, and I wrote a funny poem about it. And it was great. It was great. It made me feel good. And all that. And then I kept writing poems after that because it was cathartic. The release, I felt, was like, whew, I got that out. And I never expected anybody to read them, but I got it out. So yeah, a lot of times in this life as an adult, you're going to want to tell your side of the story, or you're going to want to give additional information as to your frame of mind, or why you did what you did, or what this person has been doing for so long that nobody else can see, and this is why you treat them the way you treat them, or the way you feel, why you feel the way you feel, and nobody's really gonna understand, why you respond to that person in such a volatile way, or why you respond to that person by not dealing with that person at all, or all that stuff. It's messy. They not gonna care why you did anything, because either that person got their ear and they got all the information that they want, or it's just they don't have time because it's yours. It's all yours, your stuff. Don't nobody care. Don't nobody care. You will get sympathy, you will get empathy from very few people, but for the most part, they don't got time to hear the whole story. Nobody got time. It's just, it's your story. So yeah, write it. If you got some stuff you need to say, write it. People ask me all the time, can you help me write a book? And they never come back because the one thing I tell them to do, they can't do. I'm going to tell you today. You want to get some stuff out, write it. How do you do that? There's one thing you need to do consistently. It's not sit at the typewriter and write chapter 1 and start the book. That's not how books begin. The easiest way to write a book, the easiest way to write a story, the easiest way to write anything, capture your thoughts. How do you do that? A notebook that you carry everywhere with you, and you can write it in with pen in hand, or a digital recorder. You got a digital recorder in your pocket. You keep it with you everywhere you go. It's your cell phone. You got a digital recorder. Keep notes. Every time a thought comes across, make a note of it so you can come back to it later. You can tell your cell phone to remember to write X, Y, and Z, and then put it on your calendar for you. Bixby, Google, Siri, Cortana, I don't care who it is. Whatever device you're using has a recorder or a reminder app, and it will say, oh yeah, by the way, you told me to remind you this, that, and the other. Here you go. Record it as it comes to you. The thoughts come scattered. They all over the place. 4 o'clock in the morning thoughts. I set myself a reminder on this very day. Bixby, remind me to do X, Y, and Z at this time of day. And she did. And here I am. I'm telling you. Why they can't never do that, I don't know. Maybe that's not what they thought writing a book would be like. I don't know. What they asked me. I've done it many times. 9 times. 9 times. They all been published. 9 books. Every single time, it was a series of thoughts that I connected together and became a book. I can help you after you get the thoughts. I can help you string them together. I can help you punctuate them. I can help you arrange them, for interest and dramatic effect and all of the stuff. But writing a book is sitting down and capturing the thoughts as they come to you. You figure out the chapters as you go. You figure out what goes with what's important, and if you got the skills, you can add some color and flavor. Let me tell y'all, when I was a kid, I used to disconnect from life often, and not that my childhood was god awful, but like I would have these pockets of discomfort. So like for instance, okay, I grew up initially. I lived with my grandparents. My mother was always my mother was young. Okay. She was young. But she was gone doing whatever. And I didn't need to be in tow. I was home with my grandmother because I had to go to school. And then she was at work. And she worked retail. She was like 12-hour days and crazy stuff like that. I was always with my grandparents. Period. I was home. I was fine. And go on, girl. Go on. And then one day she decided we needed an apartment. So we went and got our apartment. It was just me and her. Well, that wasn't cool with me because what we gonna do, just me and you? I got a whole house full of people over there at my grandparents' house. I'm fine. But anyway. So, like, when I was just with her, it wasn't bad at all. It was fine. I had all my toys, and I always had a good imagination. I had all the good toys, actually. I had the Baby Alive. I had this little record player once. It was like a suitcase. It was a box with a handle on it. And you open it up and there's a record player. And I used to play records on it. My favorite song used to be Brandy by the OJs. I don't know why, but I carried that in my little suitcase with my little record player. But anyway, I had like, all everything Barbie, all the Barbies. I had the ship, I had Townhouse, I had Skipper, her little sister, little big head sister. I had all the stuff. So it was fine, right? Not a bad life. But she met this man at some point, and she ended up marrying him, and that's how I got my little brother. But anyway, some of those moments weren't so great. So I would just, like, me and my toys would create scenarios, and we would detach whenever we needed to. I had latch hook sets. Oh yeah, they moved to this house one time because that apartment wasn't good enough for him or something. You moved into it, but stop. So anyway, we ended up moving to a house, right? And I used to have my own room in this closet, and I used to have all types of stuff in the closet. It was all toys and books. So anyway, I had this latch hook set and another one and another one. I kept creating things. I made a stuffed dog once with a latch hook, and just different little projects. I had an organ. I tried to learn how to play the organ. I had songs and the music and this and that. I ain't never learned how to play for real, but I liked that I had that, right? And then, life wasn't bad, but there were moments. So I had to escape in the moments, and I created scenarios in the moments. And I didn't realize what I was doing at the time, but hey, I was becoming a creative individual with all kinds of stuff. So anyway, what was I talking about? See, y'all know how I do. That's why people be having scripts. Okay. So when I was younger, I used to read all the Judy Blume books everywhere all the time, right? I read Judy Blume books, Tales of Fourth Grade Nothing, all those kind of coming of age young girl books, right? But my favorite series, okay, there was two. Pippi Longstocking, she was my girl. Wild, creative, non-conformist, she was living my life, just like, in her head. She was so, nobody could understand. It's a lot. Maybe you could research her. But Pippi Longstocking was my girl. She lived in a fantasy world, basically. It was all make-believe. My other favorite series of books to read was Encyclopedia Brown. Encyclopedia Brown was a junior detective. He would solve mysteries. And the mysteries were so great because just reading them. Okay, the point of this whole thing is to tell you how I learned to be a writer. I didn't know I was a writer all the time, but I learned to be a writer because I engaged my fantasy and I learned how to use details to make other people feel and see and do what I wanted them to feel and see and do. For instance, romance novels. I forgot about them. When I got a little older, I was reading romance novels. I was like young woman, like 18, 19 maybe, before I started going outside way too much. So I might have been, okay, let's say my Judy Blume era was, my elementary school going into middle school time. And then my Pippi Longstocking time was all of that time. From elementary school on, I was reading about Pippi Longstocking. And I used to go to the library all the time for books. I know I gotta take these grandkids to the library so they can learn some of that stuff too. But yeah, then I got my encyclopedia age when I was in junior high school. So as I was coming of age, I was learning how a story should look. It should be colorful and detail oriented, and it should have twists and turns, and it should have surprises, and it should have all kinds of wonderful things so you can escape to it, right? My romance novel days taught me how to use imagery. You have to make the people see something, and then they can be involved in the story more fully if they can see it and feel it, right? All of this stuff was preparing me and I didn't even know it, but I write good books because I got good teachers. I have imagery, I have detail, I have twists and turns, I always include a little mystery. I always include a surprise here and there. I always include a little bit of sappy stuff. I always include some drama. I always use realistic personalities when I write. So I do draw from actual people when I write the things. So I always say this on my Facebook page because everybody on there is pretty much somebody I know or somebody related to me or somebody related to somebody I know. So I always go on Facebook and say, hey, if you see yourself in this book, you should have just behaved better, and then I wouldn't have to write about you. And I'm gonna stick with that. If I built the character around you and it wasn't nice, it's because you wasn't nice. I ain't gonna say your name, and I'm gonna add some other stuff. I'm gonna flourish and embellish and all the right of things. But if you see you in there because you wasn't nice to me, and there you go, I ain't changing. So anyway, yeah, I've used people, real people, and real scenarios, and I use a brush and touch them up in writing, and it's so good. But it was my way of escape. It was my way of detaching as an adult, like I detached when I was a child. So yeah, whenever you have a thing and don't nobody want to hear your story, and don't nobody care about your problem, and nobody understands what it is or why it is or who did or how, all the things that nobody ever saw that somebody did to you, blah blah blah, all of that's still in there, and it's okay. I know you got a struggle that you're dealing with because of that, and I know how to get it out. Write it. Get your journal, carry it with you. I used to carry notebooks. I got so many notebooks. I got a collection. You know, they joke about women buying these journals and notebooks all the time, and women always talking about digital marketing, and you know, you can just sell this journal or sell this blah blah blah. And now I feel like a fool because I have bought so many over the years. I could have just made one each time I needed it. I don't even need them, but I just keep on because it's just at this point it's like programming. Get a journal, get a journal, get a journal, keep a journal, keep a journal, keep a journal. And I got this one little notebook where I keep a lot of secrets. I'm talking like recipes and financial stuff and all of that. I haven't written it in a while, but if anybody need to know how to make the stuff, it's in that book right there. But yeah, keep a journal. If you don't want to write it by hand, I used to keep it on the train, in my purse, in my I used to have a tote bag with me when I was going to work every day, and I would just jot down stuff throughout the day. That way, it helped me at work a lot too, cause like when I had yeah, I always had problems at work. They ain't like me for real. They ain't like me. They always used to try to stick me with some problems, but I already knew the policy and the rules and the bargaining agreement front to back and all of that. That's how I ended up working in the union office. I got a whole history, child, a whole story. But yeah, people used to mess with me at work all the time, and I used to always pull out the law on them and be like, nope, but this is what it says, and this is what we're going to do right here because it's the policy, and if you want a problem, then I'll file a grievance, and that's it. So I used to keep notes about my supervisors and my coworkers and everything in my journal too. But if you want to get a problem out, keep it in a journal. Digital journals are fine, but if you're scared you're gonna lose that or forget how to, get the stuff off of that, get you a pen and paper. That's how you write a book. Get the pen and paper, get the journal, digital or otherwise, and just capture your thoughts as you. Memories come when you least expect them. Sometimes. Look here, I was sitting here watching NCIS New Orleans a few minutes ago. And there was this lady singing in the bar. And it was so beautiful. And I was like, wow, I wonder if anybody know about this lady. Who is this lady? Then I kept thinking like, okay, I'm off track a little bit, but bear with me on here. And I was thinking like, you know what? Sometimes it's best to keep your talents small and local. You ever heard of an artisan baker or an artisan applesauce maker or an artisan basket weaver or whatever little shop might be on a certain little street in an area that nobody in the mainstream knows about or ever heard of, but you stumble upon, like another part of my childhood when I went on a field trip to Williamsburg and Jamestown, which is supposed to be, where the founding fathers came to when they discovered America. But anyway, yeah, Williamstown and Jamesburg, they were such like small town colonial feel, like Mount Vernon, Virginia, but not exactly. Mount Vernon just ain't nothing down there, ain't nothing there. George Washington's house and stuff, but it was so very. You know what feels like that in Alexandria? Way down King Street before you get to the water. Feels like that. Small town, small street, little shops that are very specific. And if you go down there, you can find a million different things. And it's so personal. And the bakery, they made it by hand with real butter and stuff. That kind of stuff. Just the small town, the small hometown feel kind of thing. But anyway, my point was sometimes, like that lady that I saw on this show that I've never seen before or heard of, but it was so beautiful. Maybe she should stay local because the appreciation for what she has would probably be greater because it's for them. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when we get all, what do you call it? Universal, not marginalized, the opposite of marginalized. Mainstream. When we get all mainstream, people want to be like, oh, we got to mass produce this, so now we got to cut costs. So what are we going to adjust so we can cut the costs and keep it, every time you think about investors, they want to know what's your cost per unit sold and how do you manufacture it and how can we, minimize that cost so we can make more money, right? So every time they touch a small little precious thing and they try to make it bigger, they might take out just little elements that take away some of the authenticity of it, right? Or some of the richness or some of the goodness or some of the personal touch of the actual creator. And therefore, sometimes we need to stay small. And then the whole point of this whole conversation for me was something else I was thinking about just yesterday, but not 4 o'clock this morning. But yesterday, I was thinking, you know what? I need to readjust my relationship with social media again. I've said this before. I gotta rethink the social media thing. It ain't really working for me. I got a footprint everywhere they told me I'm supposed to have a footprint. I've been, researching the best ways to get out to a bunch of people, And I'm not one of those people that's like trying to get discovered like Justin Bieber or just a little kid playing and Usher just happened to come across the video. I'm not doing that. I'm not somebody who's, out here making a fool of herself, trying to make sure she get discovered some kind of way. That's not what I'm doing it for. I'm just trying to stay relevant in certain places where people can find me because I need people to find me, right? But in trying to get people to find me, I might be just watering down my product just a little bit, Now, I'm never going to be the type that sells out. I'm never going to be the type that's going to water it down for somebody's taste because it's just a little bit too this or too that. I'm not that. I'm never going to be that. I'm always, yep, pow, in your face, boom, spicy, live, yep, all that. I ain't doing that work for the government. I ain't doing it now. But I felt like I needed to appeal to the masses, but I don't want to. I want to be small town feel. And therefore, I have decided to change my marketing strategy to include only the actual people where I am. Now, I thought about advertising on the Nextdoor app, but then people be complaining and starting stuff on. They so messy on the Nextdoor app. You ever been in there? Child, let me tell you, the neighbors is some trash. The neighborhood is gone, okay? And then they always talk about the crime and the this and that and the kids, and it's always some kind of way, it always boils down to something political, in my opinion. I can't deal with the politics on there. I want to talk about real. I want to talk about good cake and sticky buns made by hand. I want to talk about a pie that I made with sweet potatoes that weren't cooked in water first and then doused in dusty cinnamon and nutmeg. I want to talk about how I cooked sweet potatoes in, the syrup that they're going to be in, the syrup that's going to become part of them before I add the custard part and make it a sweet potato pie filling and then bake it in the crust that I made with my hands. It's not all beautiful on them edges and them corners like with that fork that them ladies be on the videos making. Nah, that ain't how I do it, but it's going to be good. It's gonna be authentic. I want to talk about how to make cheese. I did a cheesecake video before because somebody wanted to know, and I felt like sharing wouldn't hurt me because nobody's really going to try to replicate my recipe. First of all, ain't that many people will see it. But yeah, I want to talk about how to make cheesecake that doesn't include, you know, all the things that don't need to be included. Just, you know what I'm saying. I want to keep it. I want to keep it tight. I want to keep it. Yeah. So I I gotta go where the people are, and they're in the neighborhood. So I gotta go outside. Maybe send some things. Okay, I have this marketing thing I do every couple of months called it's a magazine called Good to Be Home. Now, the magazine was a wonderful idea. Hold on, I'm gonna show you. Alright, so here's the first one I sent out. Well, they sent out for me. It's it looks really personal, right? It goes out in the mail to my mailing list, and it has like, hey, there's me. Hey, here's some articles that have to do with, having a lovely home, and this one was about pets. And just like it has recipes, it has lovely pictures, and it has articles, and it has so much like, oh my goodness, I made this just for you. But technically I didn't, because I just found out about this marketing thing and I used it and it was great. And yeah, I love that because it comes to you in the mail. You get to touch it and read it and flip the pages, and my picture's all on the front and everything. But I can't send it out that often because it costs like $4 something per person to mail it. And I don't see it bringing me customers. It's more of a customer appreciation effort than a get new customers effort. And all the people that was on the list, yeah, they appreciate it, but it's not really making me no money, so I can't spend on that right now. So I have to do something different, which I believe needs to be a different kind of mailing where it's like, smaller. Like, hey, here's some pictures of some of my favorite things. Do you have a taste for this right now? Give me a call. I'm right down the street. I'm in your neighborhood, Or if I get like, I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. But yeah, I want that small town feel. I want that this ain't for everybody feel. I want my stuff to be, if you know me, then you got a good thing. That might be a mistake. I might readdress it, just like I'm reassessing my social media presence. But I'm tired of social media. I mean, look, I have felt before that if I'm always on there saying I'm selling something, it's kind of sleazy. I don't like it. So I wanted it to be more like community based. My whole presence on social media is based on, me being an actual person, like me being on here. I want you to see me and hear me and relate to me and, maybe find some common ground with me, and then know at the same time, hey, she has this and she does that, and I can call her if I need something and I want to order this or I want to taste that. I want that. But like, I've been putting my whole self out there on social media for years, and it hasn't made me enough money to say social media is the place that I need to be. It has made me feel more like, yes, I'm writing on a wider scale. Absolutely. I'm writing my books and people get to see them. I'm writing my posts and people get to see it. I'm writing my stories and showing my pictures and sharing my family and this and that and the other, and people get to see that I'm a whole real person, but it's not doing what I wanted to do. So I gotta reevaluate that. Anyway, I just had a bunch of stuff thrown together in there. I know it don't really go together and it don't really make sense to you, but this is me keeping a journal. Basically, that's what this whole podcast thing is about. It's a note from me to you, you know? So here I am. This is me. This is what I'm going through. This is what I'm dealing with. And if you can relate, great. If you can't, keep it on. Keep scrolling. But I do a lot of good things. Check it out. MakeSignatureMoves.com. Everything you need to know is there. Every link you need to make is there. Did I tell you I started the travel agency? I did. Signature Moves Travel is up and running. Go look at the main page. It has 8 bullet points for what the signature movement offers. First and foremost, renovations. Second, real estate services. Still licensed in DC and Maryland to sell you real estate or help you buy real estate. And I have the ability to help you customize your real estate, either for a better sale price or for you to live in it forever or for as long as you like. Make it yours. Customizing everything. We got my Mary Kay services. Yes, I am an independent beauty consultant with Mary Kay Cosmetics because that is the product that I have loved since I was 16 years old, that treats my face with love and respect, and I don't have no itchy bumpy problems when I use it. It's not, no reactions. I've tried some other things, wasn't kind to my face. I had scratchy sandpaper face one time. I had burning rash red face sometime. Another time I've had it didn't pull the oil from my face properly, so I had bumps that I wasn't supposed to have at different times. But Mary Kay has always been good for my face. Always. They have makeup, skincare, and a little bit of body care, but it's all bomb. I'm gonna keep using it, so I'm gonna get mine at a discount. That's why I signed up. But if you want me to help you get some, marykay.com/signature moves, no space. Go order you something. It'll come right to you. You ain't even gotta wait for me to package it or nothing. They'll ship it right from Dallas, Texas, right to your house. You don't even have to sign up as yourself. You can sign up as a guest and they'll send it to you. And I don't need to send you anything after that. Thank you very much. You're welcome. But if you want to, keep in touch with me, then sign up as one of my customers and I'll send you emails and stuff. Then we have Scentsy. I signed back up with Scentsy. Yes. Scentsy is the home fragrance and body care company. They have waxes, warmers, laundry care. They have diffusers. They have sprays. They have body lotion and shampoo and different things like that. But I love the scents. And I love that they have different scent families that I can choose from. They got like florals. They got fruits. They got foods. They have what is called bakery, I think. They have like the woods. It's just different categories. But go check that out. Signaturemoves.scentsy.us. I'm gonna put all the links in the description. But we're serious about this lifestyle thing, and I want to keep it small, keep it intimate, so it doesn't lose anything when I try to, make it for everybody. It ain't for everybody. I ain't for everybody. So that's that lesson. But yeah, I learned how to write by reading all the time. I learned how to write well by reading good descriptive stories with mysteries and color and romance. And you ain't gonna get nothing but some descriptions in a romance novel, child. It ain't the story. It's about how they break the story down to you when they give you the visuals. And they relate to you. They put you in the story, Encyclopedia Brown. Love a good mystery. Love a good mystery. I miss those books. I'm gonna get those for my son. If they still got some out here, I gotta find them. Those are really good building blocks for the mind. And like I said, I was escaping when I was young because there were some situations that I didn't really want to be in, and I always found a home in a book. So, what I come in here initially to talk about 4 o'clock in the morning, don't nobody care. But yeah, go ahead and get you a journal and do some writing. So it kind of did have a common thread throughout all the topics that I discussed today. until I got to this marketing piece. That's just another thing that's on my mind right now. You don't nobody care in general, but if you can relate, then hey, glad I can help. Um, Let me know if you need me, okay?